What is going on? I want to thank you for coming to Vape with Viking. So today I have something I haven't done in a while, but we got a tube mod from Vapers, Cloud, and Suicide. So today we're going to be talking about the Suicide by Vapers, Cloud, and Suicide mods. It is one of their new sidefire. It is their new sidefire tube. A little hard to get a hold of this guy. It's really hugely in demand, and you'll see why. We'll take it down. You'll look at the insides, all that kind of good stuff. But got the little Asgard 30. Probably see a little old beat up guy, but one of my tried and trues. The minis and the full size, use them all the time. And we're running some triple C coils in there, which as usual. So we're at a good, nice, warm vape. So shout out Triple C for sponsoring the channel here. Thanks, man. And we're running some Darkstar Pound Cake in there. Again, another sponsor of Mad Viking reviews. Thank you so much, Mike and Darkstar Pound Cake. If you haven't seen the review on that stuff, definitely take a look at it. Just it is what it is. It's a pound cake. It's got like sweet, some cakiness, a little bit of lemon cut in there. But we'll give it a rip here. 30T as usual on a mech, and it's the pre-installed what they call the long switch or long throw switch, and you'll see that down and up and close. Definitely a consistent, hard-hitting tube. So, but before we get down into it, and you can see now the switch works, how to assemble anything on this, because you can't see it right off the bat. We're going to definitely talk about Viking's Advocacy Minute, and then we'll get on to ADHD awareness, as usual. So, Viking's Advocacy Minute, definitely go on to Twitter, support your vape advocate generals, or what I'm calling them. So, like Grim Green, Bogan, Matt from Suck My Mod, Phil, Dimitri, all the big guys in the industry use Twitter a lot because they make some really great political connections to help us fight for all of our rights to vape. It's not just those guys. Some people kind of say some stuff out there, some negative things, saying, well, they're just doing it to secure, their money and their business. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, guys and gals. They're fighting for all of our rights to vape. So definitely go on there, give them retweets, follow them, definitely help them out. So, because helping them helps all of us. So enough of that, and on to ADHD awareness. Like I tell you every single time, if you watch the TRV Crew Show, Fridays at 7:30 Central Time, it's a whole hashtag beautiful not broken. Like I tell everybody, it's a big thing that I'm supporting because I, several years ago was diagnosed with ADHD, and even, people in my actual family have been diagnosed, including the boy. So you can't see the other word. But anyway, definitely go and check out, especially How to ADHD is a YouTube channel I follow, and watch all of her stuff. She has some really good content there. And I'm just trying to break or bring awareness to the stigma when I was growing up that ADHD isn't a thing. It's fake. You're just lazy. You're, stupid. You're slow. Just all this kind of stuff. You're broken. And that's where, the TRV Crew family came up with, hashtag beautiful not broken. So thank you so much for that, guys. It's awesome. Love that support. So definitely go find out some more. Educate yourself if you or somebody in your family or someone has this disorder, because guess what? It is a disorder. And also, just find somebody. Find somebody you don't even know. Just, if you all of a sudden find out that they are neurodivergent, say, hey, guess what? Your brain is different, and different is beautiful. So, but let's get back to what you're probably here for mostly, and that is this tube. So, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the inside. Like I said, the switch, and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah, we're ready. Let's go and drop the hammer on the Suicide. Alright, so what I got for you today is something from Suicide Mods. It is the probably most anticipated tube I've seen in a while. That is the Suicide. So it's going to be like a sidefire box. So on the back, here's what you're going to have. You're going to have your warnings, and then of course your contents, and then Suicide's logo here. Pretty much nothing else on the outside. You do have a blip here of what your color configuration is going to be. And at least far as this recording, they had 3 different colors. You have black with a bit of ultim, you have like a polished gunmetal, and black and copper. So this is probably the most sought after color. So let's take a look on the inside. Take the sleeve off. You're going to get, of course, Suicide Mods there. All right, and on the inside, some of this has been moved around a bit, but because I did open this up. And you're going to have an extra fire button or bar, and of course you got the copper on the back side here. Then of course you're gonna have the tube itself. And then down in here, you're gonna have an Allen key as well to get the screws off there. All right, so what we're looking at here is roughly, call it a 33 millimeter tube. Then you get to where it kind of comes in a bit. You're looking pretty much right at 31. So most of your 30 millimeter RDAs are gonna be about the best on this guy here. Overall length though, you're only gonna be looking at, call it 81 millimeters. Very, very small, very short, very compact. And of course on the top you're gonna have Suicide, and then your serial number here, which I can't remember. They were going to be, I believe, do a limited number of these, but I'm not 100% positive, so do not quote me on that. And the other nice thing is you don't have bare copper and bare, you know, painted metal here. You do have this like almost like plastic. If you could see how it's kind of reflecting, you have like this plastic scratch cover over it. Really nice addition. And then of course you have, this is the black and Ultim, so you got some of that Ultim here. And then you of course have your fire button here, and then at the bottom you're gonna have Suicide mods right there. Very nice etching in there. And then you have your venting here at the bottom. Now where this is gonna look weird is like, well, if the switch is here, how are you gonna open this thing up? There's nothing down here, nothing up there. It takes a little strength, but here's what you gotta do with it. There we go. So that is definitely a bit of a workout. I haven't done it yet, but you probably throw maybe a little PG on here to make that slide a little bit easier, but I like the fact it is very, very hard to actually get off. So, but you got Delrin body here, and of course you got your copper here, Ultim here, and then after you get it undone, you just unscrew the top, just like that. That's how that works. And of course, there's how your throw or button works there. And well, I will say this is a very, very mean switch. It is definitely, definitely needs some strength on there. Now, one thing I do want to point out here, this is definitely not anything against the company. I did buy this from an independent website. And one thing I want to tell you, whether for safety reasons anyway, always check your mechs. Always check them. Whether they're brand new, whether they're used, even if you get them from someone that's a huge mech user, you know, even if you get them from me, take a look at your mechs. And the main reason why is when I did buy this thing from a third-party company, this is what the inside of it looked like when I opened it up. And it was sealed. It was plastic all over the tube, all that. So that's why this isn't sealed up as well as it, you know, was straight from the package, because I always check my mechs. So again, nothing against Suicide or even the place I bought this. It's copper. It happens. But please check your stuff, because, you know, it's copper. It's going to happen. But as you see, just threw a little Brasso down there with a Q-tip and just kind of a little bit of, I would say elbow grease, but I guess it'd be finger grease. Cleaned it all up and looking pretty beautiful right now. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, I would normally go and throw a battery in there and show you that way, but just so you can get some size comparisons, we'll throw some devices on there without the sleeve in it. So show you what it looks like with like the Violator, which is a 28 millimeter RTA. So as you look, that's what it looks like with like the Violator on there. Definitely with that steps, still looking pretty good on a 28. Then you have something like the Valhalla Mini is on there, and that's a, if I remember off the top of my head correctly, it is a 28 as well, but that's at least an RDA. So you can see size wise, it is very, very, very small. So nice and compact in the hand. Now, even though that looks really, really good, what I've used it on so far that I thought was a great match, even though it is quietly beat up, and you kind of see on camera, but that is your Asgard full size here. And I've got a drip tip from another RDA on it to do this whole ultimate like matte black and Ultim matchiness. So that is a really little sick setup. I really do like that. It's very, like I said, very short, very compact, and we'll even throw a little bit of power in there for you. And this is how I would assemble it. Even though there is venting at the bottom here, it's solid copper here. So if this is going to vent and fail, I would say it's going to do something out of the Ultim first. So I'm going to go ahead and go positive up with a newly wrapped 30T. And you just take and thread that guy down, and I leave it out so you still have room for that switch. I don't get it all the way tight just because there is no constant like contact, so anything or battery adjustments. So go and get it almost all the way threaded in, and then I go and put the RDA on, and then go ahead and tighten it from there. And once it's snug, then you can move the sleeve over to push it back down in there. All right, so that's fully assembled and should be all juiced up here. And there you go. Like I said, this is kind of a beastly switch, but definitely don't need a lock mechanism on it because it's going to take quite a bit of effort to get that to fire. All right, let's go back up the top, vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts on the Suiside. All right, we're back up with the Suiside Tube Sidefire mech mod. So, of course, like usual, it's a hybrid mech mod, guys. So please make sure you know Ohm's law, battery safety, the whole 9 yards. These things are a great experience, but I don't want anybody to have a bad experience because you're just not up to speed on how to use these guys. So, and if you need help, jump on the TRV Discord. We have lots and lots of mech users there. We even got Spring into using mechs as well, and we're just happy to share the information because certain juices, it's a good experience. Heavy desserts, bakery, stuff like that makes some more stuff pop. But onto this guy, you're looking. It's about $125 wherever you can find them. That is one thing I will let you know. They are a little harder to find. I actually did buy mine from Mike at Vaping Delights. So shout out to Mike for that, and he does have a payment option like some of the other places like Vapers Cloud site and all that kind of stuff. But so $125. Some people are like, well, more normally the mechs that I use or I tend to review are under that $100 mark. When it comes into sidefire, they're a little bit more expensive, but I would say you can feel and see the quality of these. Now, down in the dive down, I did show you kind of the condition I got it in. That has nothing to do with the manufacturing in itself. Again, like I said, that's just probably because it might have sat for a little bit or due to improper shipping from, distribution to warehouse and all that. So, but clean that guy right up, and this thing has been just performing really, really well. And like typical Vapor Cloud Suicide mods fashion, they did first release just the 3 colors. Now there's like 5 or 6, I believe. Excuse me, it's 5. So there's like black, there's copper, there's gunmetal, naval brass, and silver plated copper. And main differences, most of them are going to be the top section here. The all black, of course, has the little ultim to it, which I match with the Asgard 30 in a flat black, and then a tip from I believe it was a Money Shot RDA, I believe, which was the ultim and fits on the Asgard beautifully. But then the other ones, like the gunmetal, is going to match something like like the gunmetal Valhalla, the Valhalla Mini that they did. So there's going to be lots of color combinations out there. But at $125, it is really good to keep just as an all-day banger. It's very, very durable. Lots of pros to it. Like I said, one thing that I did hear possibly about a negative is that there is no essentially traditional venting at the bottom or the top. The only thing is this is a sidefire. And since it's ultim up here, if for some reason you were to have a catastrophic failure due to a battery vent, it actually will probably come out of the side there. I know that I've heard a couple people around saying, well, it's just going to be trapped in there and that's not good. Well, no, it's going to vent off your switch, essentially. That's why you don't need the venting at the bottom or the top. Now, one con I did find and was the O-rings. So the O-ring tolerances on this thing are insane. Like, it is super, super tight. Like, it took everything to pull it apart. One of the guys said, take off one of the O-rings. Another guy from the Dark Star group actually said take 2 of them off, or I don't know. They said take them off in different ways, or so on and so forth. I ended up, this is the best one that I found out how to do, is I keep just the top O-ring on, and as you can see, it's still nice and tight, and it still takes effort to pull it apart. So, it's a great idea, great inventive little thing there. I thought it was a little too much for me. So that's just me. You might like it so that you have to fight with it every single time, but it's just a real quick, simple, easy thing. Just pop off an O-ring, check it. If it's still too tight, pop off another. But I would definitely urge don't take them all off though, because you do want to keep something secure on there. But yeah, that's really the only really con I had. It's not a con for me. It could be for you. One thing I would point out, and I do have the long throw in here. I did not, because it comes pre-installed. The short throw one is in the box like I showed you. I did not switch it out because I kind of got used to it and like it this way. But it does take a good, like I'm hitting the button. It takes a good amount of hand strength to get it to actually fire. But for me, that's more of a pro, because now there's not going to be any accidental firing. And like some side fires where they had the little on-off kind of switch mechanism, you don't have to worry about that failing. You just got to use some oomph and it'll fire. So, but again, triple C's coils, some pound cake. This thing is just awesome. I really, really love it. I've had a couple side fires where I thought they just didn't feel like they had the punch of a traditional tube mod. This thing kicks. I really, really enjoy this. So definitely, hats off to Vapers Cloud and Suicide Mods. You guys did a really amazing tube here. You just got to get more in stock, guys. Come on. That's the big con right there, is try to find it. But definitely go onto their sites, and then Suicide Mods has a site. They get them in stock. And then, like I said, I even found mine at a third party altogether. So, but that's all I got today for the Suicide. Just want to thank each and every one of you yet again for coming to Vape with a Viking. And I'll check you later.